Here's an Onan generator, model OTC-33, and it produces 12 volt DC output, also 6 volt. I can't quite see what the model, or can't really see what the serial number is here. I have to see if I can get a better view on it when I unload it from the truck. Here's the muffler back along here, and one cylinder, the choke control here. It's a horizontally opposed 2-cylinder engine. There's one of the spark plugs. And it actually has a fuel pump, and it's got this glass fuel indicator or fuel sediment bowl, kind of like on a tractor fuel pump, but it's inverted from what it would be on a usual water-cooled engine. It's got a Zenith carburetor here, downdraft Zenith carburetor, and this is the air cleaner over here. Here's the control panel, ammeter, circuit breaker, and the voltage regulator adjustment. These are Hubbell twist lock connectors, and the top two are for 6 volt, the bottom 8 are for 12 volt. And I bought this today, and it was $12.50. I got the Onan, and I also got a Homelite. The Homelite I haven't tried to get going yet, but I got the Onan to work, so I'll start it up in just a little bit. I don't know too much about how the Homelite works. I'm not even sure if it's a two-stroke or 4-stroke engine. Or here's the fuel tank, and there's a voltage voltmeter down there. Probably the regulator is up here. So I think this one's going to need some more work. But I checked out the Onan, and it had oil in it. The oil was clean. I don't know how long it had been since this was last run, but it was in a barn. It was pretty dirty. We'll take a look inside this panel here before I put all the screws back in. I wanted to check it and see if it needed a 6 volt or a 12 volt battery to start up, and these battery terminals are hooked to the 12 volt socket, so it runs on 12 volt. Here's the crankshaft pulley. You can put a starting rope on it to start it manually, and I've got one here. I couldn't get it to turn over with manual starting. I think it just needed to be cranked more. But how it works is it uses a generator as a starting motor to start it, and then once the engine runs, it takes over producing voltage output. Here's the fuel tank and fuel cap. It can draw fuel from an external fuel tank because it's got a fuel pump, and the external tank can be connected here. Here's the other cylinder. And the engine looks very much like later Onan gensets I've seen, although I have no idea how old this is. I don't know if this may be from the 50s, or I don't know if it could even be a World War II era military unit. I'm not sure. The amazing thing is there's no fuel leaks at all. This is full of fuel right now. Put fuel in the fuel tank. Luckily, the previous owner let it run completely out of fuel before storing it, so there wasn't any gum in there. I think there's some gummy junk in the Homelite. So now I'll take this panel off and just show the inside of the control panel, and then we'll reassemble it and get it started. Here's the inside. Here are the connections to the power output sockets. Looks like it's got a points type voltage regulator in it. This is the starter switch. And it looks like I've got a little bit of brittle wiring there. I'm going to try and replace that. Although since it's not disturbed, it'll probably be okay for test purposes, but I need to eventually replace that wire. And it's just very simple, just like a points voltage regulator on a car. It looks like there's a resistor down there at the bottom encased in that wire grill. And it's got an automatic starting system. You just push this big button here to start it, and the little button to stop. It's all completely automatically regulated with a governor. The only other control is the choke seen here. So now I'll reassemble it and give a demonstration of it running. Okay, let's do an oil check here. Yeah, it looks like the oil is clean and that there's enough there. I think that you unscrew this nut to put oil in it. And it looks like the oil drain plug is down here. So now let's try a start test of the generator. Here's the starter button and the stop button. For some reason I've got to adjust the voltage up higher to get it to start. There it goes. See, now it's producing output. We'll adjust it for 13.8. So for some reason you have to adjust the voltage up fairly high, like around 14.5 volts, before it'll start producing an output from the generator. But it seems to work really well. I'm really pleased that it just needed a small amount of maintenance and seems to work good. What I'm gonna do with this is use some inverters made from old computer uninterruptible power supplies to actually generate 120 volts AC. I was a little disappointed. I was real excited when I first saw this because I thought it was a 120 volt genset, but it does only produce 12 volts at 133 amps. So I need to use inverters to get 120 volt AC from it.